6 bad habits that can ruin your car. What's up, guys? For decades now, car manufacturers have been investing in more and more technologically advanced cars, which gradually minimizes the chance of human error. First, it was ABS brakes, then it was ESP, and now there's radar-controlled active cruise controls and even autonomous driving systems. That said, the idea is to make cars idiot-proof, and it looks like the industry will eventually produce cars which would be impossible to crash, break, or damage. Still, regardless of how advanced modern cars are and how careful you are, you can damage them severely if you have bad driving habits. Today, we will tell you about 6 of the most dangerous habits and how to avoid them. Number 1. Driving with no gas in the tank. Almost all modern cars have fuel pumps located in the fuel tank. The idea is to submerge the pump in fuel on the bottom of the fuel tank, which will help cool down the pump and allowing it to work more efficiently. When you're driving with a full tank or half of the tank left, everything will be perfectly fine. But when you're driving with a dangerously low tank, you're not just risking being stranded by the side of the road with no fuel left, but also breaking your fuel pump, or worse. When you drive with no fuel in the tank, the fuel pump is not cooled down by the fuel, and instead it quickly heats up, which can cause it to break. When the fuel pump is burned out, you wouldn't be able to start the car, and you're looking at a pretty pricey repair bill. Also, if you've got a bad fuel filter, silt from the bottom of the tank might make its way through into the engine. Not good. Number 2. High revs and cold engine. Every car person likes to rev their engine at least once in a while, and the old Italian tune-up phrase exists for a reason. As much as it sounds cool though, you have to know when it's safe to do so. You can't simply jump in the car on a cold morning and rev it to the red line. If you do so, you might damage piston rings or your engine's valve train, which could massively shorten its life. The reason for this is simple. Just after the start of the engine, most of the movable parts of the motor are not yet properly lubricated or warmed up. If you rev it, metal parts will rub against each other, creating friction which will damage the engine's internals. Even on a hot day, you should wait until the engine gets up to working temperatures before pushing it to high RPMs. Number 3. Riding the clutch. If you don't know what riding the clutch is, let me explain. When you drive a manual transmission car, you need to press the clutch in before changing gears, right? Well, when you're in the slow lane and you're moving at walking pace, sometimes drivers ride the clutch or just press it halfway, making the car move very slowly to keep up with the traffic. Although it is practical in said conditions, it's also very harsh on your clutch assembly. Riding the clutch often will immensely shorten the life of your clutch, and it's a dangerous habit to have. If you are often in slow traffic or city driving and in conditions that will require you to move very slowly, consider buying an automatic, which is far more practical for such use and will save you money and effort. Number 4. Skipping regular maintenance intervals. Just because there's nothing wrong with the car doesn't mean you should skip the regular maintenance. The key to long life and dependability of your vehicle is exactly that: regular and thorough maintenance. Changing oil, filters, checking the brakes, coolant levels, the undercarriage of the car, and so on shouldn't be considered an unnecessary expense. Having your car serviced according to manufacturer's requirements will help you tremendously in the long run, and probably put money back in your pocket in saved repair bills. Not only will you have a safe and dependable vehicle, but you'll also minimize the chances of nasty surprises and breakdowns. Of course, a well-maintained car with full service history will also get you a significantly better price when you eventually decide to sell it. Number 5. Aggressive driving. There is no need for aggressive driving in everyday traffic. But not only is it illegal and dangerous, it also ruins your car pretty fast. If you burn rubber on the stoplight, accelerate strongly, turn sharply, and brake like a maniac, you are putting immense stress on your transmission, drivetrain, brakes, and tires, which will eventually result in mechanical failure. Not to forget that such a driving style will result in a bigger fuel bill and unwanted attention from the police. If you're addicted to aggressive driving and like to extract every last bit of performance from your car, the perfect place for this kind of driving is on a track, which will also help you find weak points in your driving and improvements you can make. Every once in a while, every enthusiast should enlist for track days and spend an exciting afternoon driving in a safe environment and the company of fellow enthusiasts. Sure, it puts more stress on the car, but it's worth it when it's safe and fun, right? Number 6. Overloading the car. Every vehicle has its weight limit, which is declared in the owner's manual. Yes, American truck fans, even heavy-duty pickup trucks. If you use your car or truck for carrying stuff and towing trailers, you must be very careful not to overload them and follow the manufacturer's instructions. If you do put more weight on than recommended, it can result in several problems. Not only your engine will have a hard time pulling and towing excess weight, but it will also use more fuel, wear more quickly, and could even break down under the stress. Also, the brake system will have a hard time coping with the additional weight, which will result in poor braking, unsafe driving dynamics, or even tire explosion. If you want our advice, it's far better to do 2 rounds than to overload the car with all the stuff you need to carry and risk a high repair bill. So there you are. Did I forget any bad habits? Do you agree? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to click like if you liked the video. Cheers!